Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to Atlantic Television Network. This is Wedding Banter on Atlantic Television Network, and today we're going to be looking at a very important topic, talking about insecurity in marriage. Looking at insecurity in marriage, like I said, these has succeeded in pulling a lot of couples out of their beautiful homes, and some of them are still battling with this. And insecurity is something that we really need to talk about every day because a lot
Yeah,
of persons are going through this.
yeah.
So I would like you to tell us what is really insecurity? Because of course, when we hear of insecurity, people tend to define it as they want, and they have diverse explanation. I mean, definition for this. But I would like to hear from your own end.
Wow, today I was trying to look at insecurity in marriage, particularly in Nigeria as a whole, and I found out that they said that almost, without mincing word, almost 83% of marriages in Nigeria have insecurity issues. And I went ahead to check, and they said the state that has the highest rate of insecurity is Kano State. I said, wow. And then you may be asking, what then is insecurity in marriage? I just tried to look at a few things. Number one, I said that insecurity in marriage is when you are unsure or you have no confidence in your relationship, in your marriage, that you don't deserve love or any of the many other things that you want to look at yourself and say, when you see someone who's having low self-esteem, telling herself that I don't deserve this person or this person does not deserve me, that's insecurity that begin to happen. But I'm going to give you so many symptoms of insecurity in marriage as we continue, but I don't know if I can delve into that now.
Of course, we will dive into it because we have so many factors,
Okay,
right,
okay.
that can cause insecurity. Man, I wanted to say that when I saw Kano, I was like, I don't understand. Is it that they married Delhi in Kano? Why the level of that statistics?
I don't. They said in every 10 marriages that seven is bound to fail in Kano State.
Wow.
I don't know what's about. And I grew up in Kano State. So I don't know why that happens. Maybe because of the issue of betrothing people to people. Like they betroth women. They still do that in Islam. They betroth this person to this person. After the person gets another one, gets another one, up to four. So, but I don't know what could account for that. But I know they said that's the state that has the
Yes.
highest rate of insecurity.
All right, Pastor Mika, let's look at factors now that leads to insecurity in marriage. What are those factors?
Well, I would say number one is that I just said, let me call it, can I call it
You call it symptoms?
definitions or symptoms
Okay.
of troubled marriages or insecurity. Number one is toxic atmosphere of criticism and irritation. When you see that in every marriage, there's the relationship is toxic, there is criticism, everything you do will be criticized, or everything, when you become irritated, you become an irritant. That's what Pastor George says. And then everything the person does, know that there is an insecurity in that marriage. Number two is sexual intimacy is almost non-existent. You know, some people's bedroom has turned to, they are just roommates. People have become roommates. They don't enjoy it. There is no fun in it. It's just a matter of, like my lead pastor will say, Madame Anton. What is Madame Anton? A trailer. That just know that that marriage is insecure. The third one is there is perennial financial pressure. Pressure of money. There is virtually nothing that marriage can meet up without either asking somebody outside or wherever. There is pressure. They want to pay rent. There is pressure. They want to pay children's school fees. There is pressure. They want to afford basic needs. There is pressure on that financial pressure. The fourth one is that you cannot have difficult conversation. There's something in leadership they call tough conversation. You see, I was counseling a couple who the young lady sensed that the husband is seeing someone else, is having an extramarital affair. But she was not too sure. And then as I went to pray, and God actually showed me and said, this is what this young man is doing. Now, I said, is this something I should say to them why the woman is there? I said, no. I said, okay, I decided to, when both of them came to see me, I said, can I talk to the man alone? As the woman left the room, and I said to the man, this is what God said to me. And I know the last time I checked, God has never lied. And he was looking at me, he was staring at me, he didn't say anything. And he was saying something else. I said, please, I want you to say something to me because I'm looking for how to handle it so that your wife doesn't get involved as it stands now. God did not ask me to let her know. her intuition is already telling her that something like this is going on. And then he said to me, say, I can confide in you, sir. I said, yes. So when did this start? He told me it was just last month. I said, no. What God showed me, this has been happening for 2 years. Because God speaks with exactitude. So when you see that there's difficult, you can't have difficult conversation, and the woman was finding it difficult to discuss, to say, please, this is what I'm feeling. Is it true? Are you seeing someone else? Whenever there is insecurity in marriage, spouses, partners cannot have tough conversation. The next thing you see is addictive bondage or immoral entanglement. Addictive bondage or immoral entanglement. A young lady got married. I know the place. I don't want to mention the church. And then they left the state. They married in Port Harcourt, left Port Harcourt, went to another state. And this young lady went to the market to get food for the husband, so that she can prepare food for the husband rather. When she came in, the man was with another man in the bed. This man apparently came to marry her as a pastor. So when you see all of those entanglements, and then I was ministering somewhere, and God said to me, there is a young lady here who is married, but depression is making her now. She uses this sex toy. I said, I wouldn't want you to come out. If I would like you to see me, if I send me an SMS so that I can talk to you later, and as I left the service, the person sent me an SMS. This is what I use sex toy.
As a married woman.
As a married woman.
Wow.
Why? There is insecurity in that marriage that have led to what? All of those addictive bondages and the rest of them.
Before you
before
you go ahead, this addictive bondage, I would like us to dwell a little bit on it.
Okay.
And then you have just talked about the sex toy and all of those.
Yeah.
And we know that there are some couples that are so tied to each other that they wouldn't want their partner to even communicate with another person. If their partner get to talk to another person, they feel insecure that this one is already going for that. Because of the closeness, because of how, of course, they are supposed to be close, supposed to be bonded. Yeah. Bonding.
Yeah.
But because of that, they feel that I am now, should I call it the sense of entitlement? You are now my property, so no other person has a right to talk to you. How do you help your partner to know that, despite what you were feeling, this is not what it is?
You see, I can say that the beginning of mistrust or distrust starts from when those young people were courting. Now, if you had premarital sex, when you get married, you also feel that your partner might be doing this. Yeah. That's one of the, because if you just feel that if this person can do it when we have not gone to the altar to say, yes, I do, I still feel that this person cannot. See, marriage does not stop extramarital affairs.
Is it in all cases?
Not 85%. 85%. I counseled the young persons that the marriage is just 2 years old, and I was just talking, and they said, this young man did this young man had this thing, and I began to ask them. I said, can you tell me the truth? I wasn't the one that mentored the relationship until they got married. I said, before you got married, this happened. They said, yes, it happened. How many times? 4 times. I said, that is why. See, one thing we do, some persons even save their password is saved in Chinese. The password is saved in Chinese. In fact, a young lady was talking with me. I said, my husband used to allow me to check his phone, but each time I check his phone, my heart is broken, so I've stopped checking. He said, this is 1 year and I've not checked the phone, but I'm sure he's seen someone else. That's where it starts. Somebody can say, I teach in Gateway International, in our marriage academy, I teach emotional intelligence and communication in marriage. And then I said, one of the things that has dealt with marriages is what we'll call the IC, information technology storm. Somebody has gone to work, spent 8 hours in the office, you've done all your work, and then you came back home when you're supposed to spend time with your spouse. You're with your phone, but you're with your spouse, and you are smiling and you are chatting.
Yeah.
The person is smiling, and then suddenly the person gets a call, and there is no network coverage where your spouse is. Hello, you run into the door. Hello, because you know that is a pseudo call. That call has something to do with your relationship, that you are keeping somebody, and I know today you know how to have a sex text.
What is sex text?
Where you are chatting somebody on phone. Please send me your private, send me your breast, send me your this, send me this. And then you are sending. And somebody, I was talking to a young man, he said, do you know, I was chatting with this lady and I had to wet myself. Because that is sex, actually.
Wow. But oh my goodness.
The thing is complicated.
But what would make a married woman or a married man to do this? Could it be that they are suspecting that their husband is cheating or their wife is cheating on them, and they are scared of disease or something?
One young lady said, I know my husband is cheating, so me, I want to pay back. So I've decided to get one. I want so many persons, just one person. I'm very consistent with the person. I say, okay, you are faithful to.
Let me digress a little bit. Okay. Let me say, if you take my food,
okay,
and then tomorrow someone gives you food and I take that food, your own, it means that I have paid you back by taking yours. But if my husband is having a phase outside,
okay,
and then I choose to have a phase outside, am I not doing myself? Is that paying back? Because if there is any mistake of carrying infection, it will be on your body.
Of course.
If you happen to take in, you will be the one to suffer it. And then why are we saying that it's a payback?
It's not a payback, just living in sin. It's just that this world can give it baptismal name. In those when we're in school, somebody steals somebody's Bible, say it's tapping. That tapping is a game. It's just a baptismal name. They say it's not fornication, it's XY chromosome. All of those baptismal names, they are just the same. They just Satan trying to tell you can give it any name so they can walk away with it. That sin is sin. I was listening to Donald Trump. He said, all he knows is that we only have two sexes, male and female. But if you want to feel form today, you see over 25 sex. Some people are bisexual, some people are. So you just see a lot of things happening in this generation. So if somebody says, well, I'm trying to pay back, my husband is cheating on me, so I'm doing, you are living in sin. There's nothing like, because my husband is just, you are the one that will bear the grudges. When heaven meets, and the last day when heaven will open the books, you will say, well, it was because my husband was cheating on me, so I wanted to get back at him. There's nothing like that. Sin is sin. However you put I is I. You then spell it I is I. Whenever I gets bigger than S and N, that's where sin begins to multiply. So that's what we talked about, all of those activities. The other aspect of this insecurity, outside parties have controlling influence.
Okay.
Any marriage you see that outside parties are having controlling influence, that marriage is insecure. I was counseling a young lady who was courting a young man. She said they have courted for 6 years. I said, I don't believe in long courtship. That is a courtship anniversary. 6 years. 6 years. And I said, for what? Then on the 7th year, I found out that they were not agreeing. Communication issues. And then this young lady will always say, my mom says. I said, is it your mom that is getting married to this young man? Your mom's lifestyle suits your father. That's why they're still married. The young man you want to marry is not your father. So I'm not saying your mother cannot give you cancer, but whenever you see outside partners having controlling influence, there is insecurity in that matter. I know that we wanted to go maybe major months on sexual insecurity and the rest of it. That's just one aspect of insecurity. Then when partner is always threatening to quit, there is insecurity in that marriage. I don't know whether it was a joke or what. A man was at home, the wife returned from work, and the man was checking the certificate, the marriage certificate, and the woman said, honey, what are you checking? I'm checking the expiration date because I'm tired of this marriage. Yes, I'm checking. Marriage does not have expiration date. And then the other woman came, the man returned from the office and the woman was saying, I'm married to Jesus, Satan, leave me alone. And then the man had to conduct manual deliverance on her. You know manual deliverance now? We don't subscribe to that. The church I belong to, but the man had to beat the woman up. And then why? There is one partner is threatening to quit.
But is there tendency that despite the threat, that the marriage can last.
Oh, that
It's always
yes, I can tell you now. What do we do? You go back to the principles. Now, what are the principles? Most marriages began in love. But
okay.
okay,
I don't want it to be very fast
okay,
because I want you
okay,
to break it down for us. Now
okay.
you talked about outside intruders.
Yeah,
That was it. Second to the last thing you mentioned.
yes,
I want us to talk about that.
okay.
In a situation that some women are mommy's girls,
Yeah.
and some men. We have a case in airport where they say my husband listens to the mother, so I don't have a say. I have to see the passport and all that. That's by the way,
Wow.
because it's everyone on social media. But in a situation that you were brought up from a family that it has to be either your mother or nobody, even when your wife comes in, you still feel that your mother is the ultimate. What do you do first? I know we'll talk about the solutions, but I want us to handle this one first.
You see, the Bible says, "For this cause shall a man leave his parents." Not the woman leaving; it's the man that will leave his parents, and then cleave to the wife, and both of them will become one. So, marriage is not for boys. Marriage is not for men, say per age. But number one, before you start thinking of getting a wife, emotionally, you must be independent. Spiritually, you must be independent. I'm not saying that they should know what we call authority figure. But in that marriage, you are the one. In fact, God is not the third party. God is the only party in that marriage. And then if your parents must come in once in a while, make suggestions. Not that they are the one calling the shots. No. There's the teaching my pastor did about how he said, emoji help. My in-laws are becoming outlaws.
Wow.
Emoji help.
My
In-laws are becoming outlaws.
Oh,
So
wow.
what do? You see, most people prepare for wedding and they had no plan for marriage. And my pastor said that whenever you allow romance to blindfold you during courtship, he said, whatever you cannot negotiate in courtship, you cannot navigate in marriage. So from day one, you sit the woman down. This is the kind of marriage I want to have. Pastor was sharing with us. He said, if I married my wife, I sat down and said, this is the, okay, no, he was sharing with us someone who was very close to him while they were in university, very close. In fact, the person wanted him to marry her. In fact, the person is still in our church. And then he called her and said, look at the life God has already told me I'm going to be a pastor. And because I'm going to be a pastor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are rule breakers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the rules of engagement. And I don't think, you're not a bad person, but I don't think you can fit into this. So from day one, people don't open up and say, this is the kind of marriage you want to have. This is the kind of home you want to have. So they just fear, when, you see, my wife used to jocularly say that, I said, when you were chasing me, striking me like Nigerian language, he said, you used to call me every 1 hour and we talk and he said, now, he said, you send me SMS, I will read it, my hair will just turn. I said, I've gotten what I was looking for. Why should I be sending this? but what we're saying is that some people allow romance to blindfold them. They say that wedding is wedlock. When they wed you, they lock you.
Wedding is wedlock.
When they wed you, they lock you. So it's important that you state what we call the rules of engagement.
All right.
See, wedding or marriage is not a business transaction that you say, if this fails, I will invest elsewhere. So that's why you need to shine your eye, like Nigerians will say. So my pastor says something. He said, they say love is blind, but once you get wedded, the blindness leaves you. So you need to look very well, pray about it. So that's why marriage is supposed to be enjoyable, because when I wanted to read the Bible passage in Genesis chapter 2 verse 18, Good News Translation, it says, then the Lord God said, it is not good for the man to live alone. I will make a suitable companion to help him. So marriage was not meant to hurt you, it's meant to help you. Bible says a suitable, that means there are persons who are not suitable. Not every two sweet things go together. Sugar is sweet, but will you use sugar to make soup? No. So not every good thing can go together. That this person is good, it might not be good for you. So there's nothing like somebody. I was talking to a young lady, said there's somebody I want to convert. When I convert him, I'll marry him. I was laughing. I remember on campus where I was NIFES president, and some years before I came to NIFES in my university days, we had a NIFES sister. She was NIFES mom, so vice president too. But they said she graduated and married an Alhaji. How did it happen? Very simple. That this Alhaji loved this young girl and started coming to church.
Wow.
Yeah. Was attending the church, doing everything because I must get this girl. And then came to propose to this young lady. And this young lady said she was going to pray, but she did not pray. That's what happened to so many young ladies. They say, when they're available, when the desirable is not available, the available becomes desirable. I don't go with that principle. It's not scriptural. So now they have married, they have wedded them, and they have locked them. After 1 month, the man threw his mat, did his ablution, started hitting his head on the hand. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Young lady said, what is happening? The young man said, listen, we are married and we are married. But then, my pastor told me there are 3 cases where you can go for divorce. 1, if there is deception, you can. 2, if there is violence that is life-threatening, you can divorce. So, don't tell me what God has joined together. It wasn't God that joined them. That's deception. I don't know if I'm communicating.
What God has joined together, no man should put us.
But this one, it wasn't God that joined.
God.
So that's why I say wedding is, when they wed you, they lock you. So before you go in for that forever imprisonment, make sure you are going to have a prison mate who you are going to enjoy forever.
Okay, the last one on this before we move.
Okay.
When an outsider is a friend that let's say that there are some friends that while you were single, they were so helpful.
Yeah.
And now you are married. Not that they are not happy for you, but a single person can never give you appropriate, the right advice as a married person.
Yeah.
And then you don't realize that this person is not actually helping you, but because you are in a fix, you feel he's helping, and then your husband is like, I don't want to see you with this person, and you feel that this person has always been my support, let me say support system like we use here. What do? Do you send the person away? How do you distance yourself from the person?
You see, whenever a third party, you see, when I got my, let me say that, when I married my wife, I needed to see some of her friends who were very close to her, and some of them became my friend too. There were some of my friends who also became her friends. But there were some friends I saw. One young lady, my wife said, I'm not comfortable with this person. I didn't pray about it. I left it. But the person was not doing anything wrong with me. But women, when it comes to relationships, their intuition is very high. Instinct is higher than that of a man. That's the truth. So I'm not comfortable. I left it. Now, I also saw somebody I wasn't comfortable with. I didn't say cut off, but I said, I don't want this person to be too close to me. After a while, my wife just decided, whenever you are married, and one part, your spouse said, I'm not comfortable with this person, please prioritize your marriage over any other relationship. So the first thing is to prioritize this relationship over any other relationship. Whenever you say, I do, it means your searching has stopped.
Okay.
Yes. Do you say I do? What it means, I have stopped searching. So this person should be able to. Yeah, I know there are some spouses that are very just over possessive. Not that anything is wrong, just that they want to be over possessive. I was talking to a young lady. So my husband said, I don't want you to work. I'll be paying you salary. I said, can I say something to you? I not like. If you check it with your husband is having extramarital affairs, and he feels that if my wife start working, someone else might want to also have my wife.
Wow.
I said, give it time. There could be other people who are doing that, and then they don't have anything like that in mind. They're just
But
It
his case was different.
yes. This one, I said, check it. It wasn't up to 6 months. She said, sir, can I see you? I said, what's the problem? He said, that thing we talked about 6 months ago. I found out they are not just 3, they are up to 5.
Wow.
So what you do when you see that, if you prioritize your marriage over any other relationship, you can let go of anything to ensure that your marriage works.
All right. So now you're supposed to look at the factors.
How
I've seen the factors. So I want to join your voice and say it again. I heard this thing from Pastor George Izoma. He said, like he said too, if your husband says, I don't want to see you with this person, that is it. That should be it. And if your wife says, I'm not comfortable with this person, that should be it. It's not about just husband to wife. It's also wife to husband, vice versa.
True.
All right.
True.
So get that, learn that for today. From today henceforth. All right. Let's look at
how do we handle this? Okay, the solution, right?
Yes.
I want to spend much time on the solution than on the problem.
Exactly.
The first thing, you know that marriage is built on the principle of love. And then what are the things? Simple. They say that there are 5 love languages, but let me not start with that. The first thing you do if you are facing insecurity in your marriage and you want to get it out of the way, first, give attention and affirmation and spend time together. Give attention, give affirmation, and spend time together. You see, I know my wife's love languages. I know. My wife makes her hair as simple as making her hair. And your wife, imagine a bushman. The wife just made her hair. Passed the first time, passed second time. That person was actually checking out. Oh boy, I don't make my hair. And I said something. And then she passed the third time. And you're not saying something about the hair. She will get angry because her love language is affirmation. Oh, he said, babe, this your hair is beautiful. Affirmation. As simple as that. Some bushmen, after eating their wives, they just stand up and walk after, and the one that gave the money. You're a bushman.
Pastor, say that again.
I say you're a bushman. Read my lips. Your wife made food, prepared your food, and then you, after eating, you just walking out. You started watching Manchester United versus Man City.
Awesome. We say thank you, Jesus.
Is it Jesus that prepared the soup? Affirmation. And then give time to your spouse. There are so many people who are so busy. They want to pay all the bills, so they take extra hour in the office and the rest of them. But if you want that insecurity to stop, spend time with your spouse. In fact, last month I went somewhere. I went for a program in New York. As I returned, I was just reading something, and he said, if you want to keep the bond of your spouse and all of that, he said, stop coming to the dining table with your phone. As simple as you are coming to eat, please leave your phone elsewhere. And some people are eating and they are, it's very annoying. Give attention. Second thing you need to do, begin intimate conversation and talking through every issue. Intimate conversation and talking through so many issues. I have a friend, I don't know, they might be watching or not, but it's a good one. I was going to Abuja, and my friend said he was the person that handed over to me as my first president on campus, medical doctor. So I want to explain so that, because it's not a bad thing that happened, it's something we can learn from. And then I was coming to Abuja, and he said to me, so no, you can't come and pay for hotel in Abuja. We are living in 3-bedroom flat. We just got married. Married just barely 2 years. So whatever thing the hotel will give to you, we'll give it to you. We'll have one room we're going to keep for you. We'll have our Wi-Fi working. And then he even came to pick me from the airport. But do you know, the wife only knew that I was coming to the house the day he came to pick me from the airport. So the wife said, Pastor, I'm going to say something to you. My husband has so much respect for you, but I'm going to say in his presence. I said, what is it? And I've spent 2 days. The third day, she just said, I want to see you. Just wonderful family. He said, sir, do you know my husband does not tell me anything? We don't discuss anything. He only gives me information. And I said, wow. How? Oh, sweetheart, Pastor Megakali is coming to our house today. Oh, all the way from Port Harcourt. And we discussed it like 1 month before then. He said, this one is just an example. There are others. So there's difference between discussing issues and giving information, or reading the riot act. This is what I want to be done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you hear me? No, now. I shared with them in church on Sunday. I said, if I tell my wife I want to do something, she just says, okay, she is not interested.
Please, can you resound that again?
If I share something with my wife, just say, I want to go and buy something, and my wife just say, okay, she is not interested.
Wow.
And I know the wife I marry. And then some persons want their wife to be their toy. Just tell her. She said, okay, sir. If you are surrounded by a yes woman, your destruction is very close. But if I say something to my woman, I will say, what if we do this? She's interested. Oh, because she knows I want her voice to count. I want her. We'll discuss through every issue. It's not that I just, well, I've finished talking. I don't want to get angry. The third thing you do, take life easy and forgive each other. Forgive each other's idiosyncrasies. Take life easy. Papa was telling us a story yesterday about the bomb blast in Nebraska, I think so many years ago in Japan. That a young boy and the father, who was very old, were going to sell in the market. And the father said, we're going to take the bush path. Let's see flowers, let's see trees. And this boy was angry. So, let's run fast so that we can sell in the market. He said in the morning market, people just come, they price you well and they pay. When it gets to afternoon, people are really tired. They just can price them so that they can walk away. And the man said, my son, take it easy and you will live long. Oh, so I don't understand. Why are we taking this bush path that is longer? As they were moving, they were taking the bush path. The father was saying, look at this tree. Look at this. The young man was abusing the father. No wonder you are this poor. We are supposed to arrive the market as early as 7 a.m. This is almost 10:30. While they were moving, they got to the hillside. They don't want to start descending so that they can now get to the market. And they see a thick cloud. And what happened? There was a bomb blast in the market. Thousands of people died. That was how God saved this godly man and the son from the bomb blast. Why? Take it easy and you will live long. Take it easy and you will live long. See, this microwave generation, patience has eroded this generation. If you want to prepare beans now, there's pressure pot. 5 minutes, the beans is ready. Whereas I know my mother will prepare beans, wait and watch raw match. The match ends. And they want to start watching another one before the beans will be ready. And when it's ready, they'll allow you to get cool. And now, there is ATM, there is Indomie. Do you know if you want to eat food from London now, you can order for the food and you eat that food. Why? I went to you and I wanted to eat a bankuko. Now, my last man stays with me. He said, don't worry, we'll just order it. I said, well, how long is it? He said, don't worry, it won't be up to 1 hour. A bankuko that takes a lot of time to prepare. Cut the food, this thing. That's what they brought in 25 minutes. It was ready. Why? This generation feels that the same way we prepare Indomie, that's how life should be. Take life easy and forgive each other's idiosyncrasies. There are some things may not necessarily be seen, but if you begin to, whenever you see a couple or a spouse who used to take so many things for granted, now is not looking at everything is not serious, something is happening. There are some families, if your spouse farts or pollutes the air, what do they call it? Is it blew the wind or what? The kind of problem it will cause. But in my house, we used to joke.
You used to communicate.
I said that was a good one. I also thank you. I want to do my own, say it's 1-1. We just laugh it over. But see, whenever I start picking on everything that happens, there's a problem.
So what do you do if your partner does something once you forgive, the second time you forgive, and it's now like a daily routine? What do you do in the name of my wife or my husband? No, forgiving me? That's
also we should discuss the issue. Let's discuss the issue. This thing has been happening. It's no longer a mistake. No, Bomo Roman Cosi said, if dog bites you, so that dog decrease. If the same dog bites you, so now you decrease. So you need to Let's discuss this. This is not how we started. This is a godly home. Even if you are not godly, this is not what the society believes in. There's a standard the society has. So we discuss it through. Not all idiosyncrasies or negativities that happens in a home is normal. Some are demonically motivated. That's why we do what we call spiritual warfare. I have not come to that, but then another thing you need to do is make sacrifices giving and serving the other party. Make sacrifices in serving the other party. There is nobody that said that the wife must be the one that will prepare soup. Except when the man cannot even help, but there's something you can help. Last 3 weeks, my wife, now women prefer that the men go to the market.
Exactly.
Because when they go to it, they will spend more than they usually ordinarily would have given to them. In case you don't know. That's it. So last 3 weeks they say, honey, go to the market now. I'm writing an exam. I say it's not the exam.